Thanks for checking out this this lesson, this free course on how to secure your WordPress site. My name is Joel Otterstrom. I've been doing WordPress for about 12 years now. I've done thousands of WordPress sites. I've seen pretty much everything about a WordPress site. So we'll get right into it. Again, my name is Joel Otterstrom. I can be reached at Joel at WpConcierges. Our Twitter, Facebook, it's just WpConcierges, Instagram as well. So you can check us out there as well. So the questions that I'm thinking about answering today are how do WordPress site blogs get hacked? 41% is the hosting that you're on. 29% is themes. 22% is plugins. Weak passwords amount for 8%. But really, if you're not updated, that's when you get hacked. So 83% of WordPress sites get hacked that are not up to date, and a site is getting hacked every 5 seconds. 30,000 a day, so it's pretty incredible. But there's like 60 million sites that run WordPress, so it's small portion, yet it's still a big problem. So the biggest thing is keep the plugins and WordPress and themes updated. Now, I maintain a list every month that you can go to our website, WpConcierges/category/security, or you can just go to /blog and click on the security category there. And I post those every month, and you can check it out and make sure there's no vulnerabilities in your current plugins. So the next thing is to look at are users and passwords. So keep usernames unique and not default, such as admin. Keep and force strong passwords. WordPress now comes with a strength indicator. Passwords are getting pretty strong. With passwords, there's a salt features within WordPress that you can change out now and then and get new ones from WordPress itself. And I suggest doing that if you've been hacked, just to reset those and make sure there's no logged in users anywhere in the world on your site. Change the location of WP admin to something unique. This generally slows down attacks. You can even add password protect the WP admin location, but that requires a little bit of skill because you may break a few things if you password protect that folder, like the admin Ajax calls. Review the admin users or users that have admin access to your site often. Review the admin email that can be found in settings general. A lot of times that's set to or just left over from a developer email. That is an email that gets emailed when something bad happens to your site, like if your site's down, that admin email gets emailed. So you'll want to check that out. It's under settings general. Enable reCAPTCHA on login pages, comments, checkouts, anywhere that is capturing form data, input data, add reCAPTCHA. Google is starting to charge for reCAPTCHA, so you'll probably want to look into that if you have high volume. If your site's smaller, reCAPTCHA is going to be free forever. Things to avoid when choosing a password, anything that's your real name, a username, a company name, website name, something simple like password 123. You don't want any of that. a word from a dictionary in any language, a short password, any numeric only. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For example, you don't want to do that, or alphabetic only, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P. You don't want that as well. Those are really what happens is when I was in college, I had a friend who would just, he had a little program that he wrote, dictionary of letters and numbers, and he would just stick it on sites, and it would be to crack passwords. And that still happens today after 20 years. They're still going after and trying to punch into your site. So really the two big things where break-ins happen or sending requests and just hitting your site really hard until it floods it and takes it down, and looking for files, vulnerable files on your server. And then the other thing is brute force password guessing. So that's why passwords are really important to look at. I think that's enough for that. So the different settings and hardening, disable trackbacks, pingbacks. Those can be found under settings, discussion for the whole site. Your whole site doesn't need it, especially when your blog isn't your whole site. If your blog is your whole site, you can look at that a little differently. Just maybe make sure that the reCAPTCHA is on for blog posts. And if CAPTCHA is failing you, WordPress has a plugin, Ask Me. You can pay $5 a month, and it pretty much stops all the spam before it even gets to your blog. And disable XML RPC, and make sure that deny from all. This is the old API that WordPress has. It's still open. I think they're going to eventually phase it out with REST. Make sure that WP debug is set to false. Another thing is to look at your user table, your database table. By default, it's WP_admin, or WP underscore is the prefix for your database. Now, hackers know that by default that is, so you can change that on install. And a lot of hosting companies now offer that, but you want it to be, something. In this example, I have ABWP2 underscore. That can be found in your WP config is where that's set. Don't allow PHP execution within your uploads folder. Block directory browsing. So the WordPress administrator area, WP admin, WP includes. WP includes, some of it doesn't even need to be writable by users, but the admin area should all be owned by, really your whole site should be owned by the web user itself. Now, the one thing is protect your WP config file, and you can deny from all on that as well within your htaccess folder file. Disallow file edit. That's just making sure that the theme, you can't edit from the theme interface. It hardens it a bit. And also for the uploads, it just makes sure that if they get into your site, they can't start editing all these files and putting malware on those files. Install Audit Trail is a really good plugin for auditing everything that happens on your site, from logins to any file changes, file uploads, just everything that happens within your site. Check on plugins that need, this is really kind of more advanced thing, eval, execute functions that are executing other PHP. That can be very dangerous at times, because that's what hackers use, is they'll upload a file that then starts executing PHP that writes a whole bunch of malware files to your upload folders, to then your admin. It gets into the core, it becomes a huge mess and takes your whole site down. The file permissions, you want to make sure that they don't have execute and write permissions. You need to keep it to read level. So like an image doesn't need execute file. Now, I've seen PHP be injected inside of an image, a JPEG file, where they changed the header of the JPEG file and just had a bunch of PHP in there, and that JPEG had execute on it, and so they were able to execute a whole bunch of PHP. So quite a bit of things there. Make sure that your own computer is clean from malware, just because, if you're logging into your site, you have malware. They're tracking your keystrokes. They're tracking. They have capabilities on your own computer. They'll then get your passwords, log in, and destroy your site. But then they also can upload malware onto your site from your own computer. So I've seen that happen quite a bit. So there's a few free malware protection for your own computer. McAfee is a paid one. Norton antivirus, those ones are paid. Trying to think of my free one that I always have on my own. Avast, I think, is the free one that I'm thinking of right now. Again, when I started this presentation, that 41% of hacked sites are from hosting. So what happens is you're on a host, and that server is shared by, in those large hosts, they could be shared by 1,000 other sites, like Bluehost and HostGator. They have a whole bunch of sites on one server. I typically like to have one virtual server to one account. That's how I do my hosting. I offer hosting, so if you guys need that, I can help you with that. That's super secure, but that's one site gets infected, and hackers just spread files from all over the place from that one account. I've seen whole servers just completely infected, and you just have to start over and move all those accounts basically and clean them all up. So with all of this, you want to look at a firewall. So there's two different types of firewalls. There's the web application firewall, and then there's a network firewall. And those network firewalls is what the web started with, and now we're in the web application firewalls. And the difference is the network firewalls, they'll stop the traffic that's bad before it even gets to your site. But a web application firewall will say, okay, this traffic got through. but it's looking for some crazy files that doesn't need to be, and it just nulls it out, and before it even gets to your site. So these are different blocking things that your web application file should be doing. Fake bot attacks, DOS attacks, backdoor location scanning. So looking at your WP admin, hacking your WP login file, and so there's just a lot of things that your web application firewall should do. Now, this one here is know your backups. So a lot of hosts that are big hosts, they run backups, but they'll run backups of your full account, and not just WordPress. So just know how you can just restore WordPress and the WordPress database at what point. You should have at least 7 days of a backup. If you don't, just come help. I'll come help you. But when all is said and done, you're never immune, but you can be pretty safe. But people spend thousands and tens of thousands and $1 million on their site, and you want to make sure that that's all backed up and can be restored at any specific time. When again, with the hardening, with the application firewall, you want to have a daily scan to make sure that nothing has changed on your site. There's still no malware. You're clean from the malware directories out there, from Google's malware directory, especially since they'll flag your site right away, and it takes a while to get off of it. So you don't want to get on there. So a scan is one method to alert you of, and that should happen at least once a day, 24 hours, or every 12 hours, depending on how much traffic you're getting. So I just wanted to talk about our solution. It's WpConcierges, and it takes care of those items here. And this is the dashboard. You'll see there's a little bit of updating that I need to do. You can update these plugins all from this admin area. It tells you the performance. Here's login logs. Here's 1600 that it's blocked from Peru, Vietnam, France, Germany, all sorts of crazy stuff. Blocked all these different ones: Japan, Ukraine, Russia, and one succeeded. And I think that's mine. So that gives you nice logs, gives you nice reports here. So you can set up different reports to email you about the status of the scans, status of anything that any directories that you may have gotten on. It tells you uptime monitoring. So if you're down for more than 15 minutes, it would catch that. You can set that uptime monitoring a little differently, and you can add a staging site and a backup. Those are just a little additional services that my account I don't need because I already have that on my server. But let's see here. It covers your users, your themes, your plugins. And let's go. You can scan anytime. But this will do hardening from this plugin. The nice thing I like about our plugin is that it's outside of your WordPress, so you can lock it down. You can lock WordPress down from not being able to install themes, not installing plugins. It's done from here, and then it goes into your site. But it controls a little. It denies a bit more. So to get to order this, it's $15 a month, and that's on WpConcierges.com. And if you pay for a year, it comes down to about $12, $12.25 a month. And if your site is already hacked and needs to be fixed right away, we add another $50 on there, and we can clean it up within the same day. We can get all this installed for you, and it does all the hardening, security hardening for you. Everything that I went through within this presentation, it does. And so again, that's WpConcierges, WpConcierges.com. So as low as $12, it's $12.25, but I didn't put that down. You can email me or text me at this phone number. That's my cell, and there's my email. More than welcome to do that, or call me. I don't mind. I pick up the phone. So let's get your site secure and get going. All right.